For parents, hearing their child has been diagnosed with autism can be accompanied by a range of emotions, including sadness, confusion, and even relief a diagnosis has been made. Simone Brenneman is a Vancouver mother of 4. 2 of her children have been diagnosed with autism. Simone, welcome and thank you for joining us. How did you learn your 2 children were autistic?
Well, with the first, we dealt for about 2 years with pretty bizarre behaviors, very stressful behaviors, concerning, and yet at the same time, you know, she was a captivating little girl, so it took a while. And but then we started to seek help because we knew something was really wrong. With the second one, it was faster because we knew we already had a diagnosis with one, and so we recognized some of the symptoms, and he was diagnosed much earlier.
Okay. Now, you're speaking out against what you think is a focus of, quote, a cure for children who have autism. Can you explain that?
I do, though I don't. Curing, you know, looking for genetic cures, that kind of thing, of course that is important, but there just seems so much focus right now on making these children, fixing them, making them recover. And I find it of concern because these children and adults, because they do grow up to be adults, they're fascinating. They have a place in our society and they have so much to offer us. I prefer to put my focus on helping them to evolve, to emerge, to be who they are, and to give us their perspectives. They experience the world differently than we do. They see the world differently, and they have so much to offer us. And this is them, you know. Do we have that right to change what is fundamentally them? And
your own children have their own unique talents. Can you tell me a little bit about them, their own unique abilities?
My daughter, that is the focus of Effervescence. She's an amazing writer and artist. She does brilliant work. She pulls, because of her unique perspective, she pulls that into her work. And it's beautiful, it's fascinating.
Right. Now, do you feel that society is changing its views towards people with autism? We've seen them featured in television shows and movies now. Are things changing?
I think so. I think people are also recognizing what a huge range there is from what the people who are affected very severely to people who are affected less severely. And there is more awareness in knowing that. But still, now the shift is also, I think, oh, now we know it's there. What do we do to fix it? And there again, you want to kind of put all of those things into balance.
Okay. Now, you've written a book about your experience, about your daughter specifically. It's called Effervescence. Tell us about the book and the inspiration behind it.
The inspiration was her, and also my family dealing with so many years of very stressful behaviors, interesting behaviors, and it just seemed like there's too much to not share to the world. And she is now in a place where she understands she is genuinely an inspiration, and she's willing to share her story, and it follows from birth until now. And it's an amazing story, and it was a joy for me to be able to share that.
What do you hope parents who have children with autism will get from the book? What can they get from Effervescence?
Most of all, to embrace this. The more you embrace this, the more the person with autism will just relax, feel accepted, and that in itself will help with their behaviors. Sometimes some of the behaviors will literally just disappear when they feel more accepted. And other than that, you know, just to embrace this and know that it gets better. It's hard work, but it will get better.
And worthwhile. You bring up some really good points. You call it a challenging disorder, but you call it an extremely fascinating one. How do you mean?
Absolutely fascinating. And I think that's the problem with some of the programs out there, that they tend to look a little too close. You want to just stand back and look at their behaviors, think about it. They do experience things differently, and it is fascinating. You learn more about them, about yourself, and it quite often, when you don't know where to go, what direction, if you just look at them, look at their behaviors, quite often the road becomes very clear.
All right, Simone, thank you so much for joining us today. Simone Brenneman is the author of Effervescence, a true life tale of autism.